Hi and welcome to this post-social podcast presented by Oliver Thomas Wilcox. Today's guest is Olivia Laiker, Football Development Officer at the Manchester Football Association. In the podcast, Olivia talks about the responsibilities and experiences she has while at her current role. We also talk about her passion for the sport and how she first picked up an interest for playing and watching football. Before we start, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and check the description for our webpage, Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn. So thank you very much for agreeing to be here today. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you very much. So before we go into the questions, do you want to give a brief summary of what you do, your work, and your interests?
Yeah. My name's Olivia. I am 26 and I work at Manchester FA as a football development officer for women and girls. Always loved football, played football since I was around 7 years old. Worked my way through sort of the female elite pathway, so through like the RTCs, until I was around 18, and has always been passionate around sort of creating opportunities that weren't there for me when I was younger. So that's why I wanted to sort of pursue a career in football. So my first job out of uni was at Manchester FA as a football development officer for clubs and leagues. And then about 2 years ago, I took over the role as Women and Girls Development Officer. And then most recently, become a trustee of the Miskit Foundation.
All right. So you say you've played football since you were young. When did you first pick up a passion for football?
Yeah, I always loved sport, was really sporty when I was younger, was into sort of netball, dance and everything like that. And my passion for football really came about when I attended my first City in the Community School holiday camp with one of my friends in primary school. My mum was in work, so in the holidays she had to find sort of other people to look after us, and one of the ways in which doing so was sort of school camps for sort of sport. So I attended the City in the Community one, loved it, met so many amazing people, coaches, and that's where my love for football sort of started. The reason I became a Manchester City fan, and from there I've sort of continued to sort of play football, watch football, coach, referee in football, and now got a career in it.
Well, yeah, very interesting. Aside from the Man City fan part, but I'll leave the bias at home.
Someone has to be.
So where did you go to university?
I went to Leeds Beckett University and studied sport development. So was there for 3 years, got a first class honours degree out of it. When I was at uni, I worked part-time for Bradford Council as a disability development officer in sport. So that was my sort of first sort of experience in sport development. And then I got the opportunity to do my dissertation in partnership with Leeds United and West Riding FA. So the first time working with the county FA there, seeing how sort of it was run, some of the work that they do, I was really inspired by it. And I was able to sort of look at the impacts of girls within RTCs playing against boys for the first time, which was sort of groundbreaking sort of work that they've done. So it's the first time girls could play against boys within those age groups, and looking at the way it impacted girls football. It did have a positive or negative impact, and I really enjoyed it and enjoyed seeing the way in which County FA ran. They did so much more than sort of administrating football, and then looked to sort of pursue a career in it.
Right. So when you first started studying sports development, is that something you had in mind to definitely go on to in the future?
No, I did sport development looking to become a PE teacher. I didn't want to just take a PE teaching sort of degree just in case I decided I didn't want to do it. So I did sport development, but chose sort of the PE side of the modules, and did my first sort of major placement, which was about a 2-month placement in a high school in Leeds, and hated it. Just didn't get as much time sort of doing the sport. It was more sort of admin sort of focus, and that wasn't really something that I was really looking to do. And then through the work I did with sort of volunteering at local clubs, the work I did with Bradford Council, I never knew a sport development officer job existed until being at university. So once I looked at what it entailed and worked with different organisations that were in that sort of sector, really came to terms with the fact that those jobs are out there. People just don't know about it. And then decided that women and girls football has always sort of been passion of mine. When I was younger, there wasn't as many opportunities as there are now, and wanted to make sure that those barriers weren't there for girls growing up. So yeah, look to get a career in it and hopefully make a little bit of a change.
So you did make a career of it, obviously, because you're with the Manchester Football Association.
Yeah.
So going into more of the responsibilities that come with the job. So what's your day-to-day roles?
Yeah, so at the minute, I am the Football Development Officer for Women and Girls, and most recently, with the Women's Euros being hosted in the UK this summer, I've taken up the role as the Legacy Lead for Manchester and Trafford host cities as well. So from the women and girls sort of aspects of it, that sort of role, it mainly consists of sort of getting more women and girls involved in football, may that be sort of playing, coaching, volunteering, or refereeing. So that includes sort of supporting our female clubs and leagues within Greater Manchester, ensuring there's an opportunity for all women and girls, no matter their age, background, where they come from, sort of to take part in football. Also supporting the pathway from sort of grassroots to elite football, leading on FA programs such as Wildcats and Squad, as well as supporting our sort of coach development officer and referee development officers in ensuring there's enough opportunities and support for females within those specific roles in football. Other aspects, sort of safeguarding and stuff, comes under us as well. But then the legacy element of the role, which is taken over for the past 2 years, is all around sort of supporting our women's rec officer in creating more recreational opportunities for women to participate, especially those from non-traditional backgrounds, and highlighting role models for women and girls to look up to. As part of this, we're also looking to increase opportunities for girls in school settings, so that may be on the curriculum, not on the curriculum, to sort of play for the first time, as well as creating a female workforce to support our clubs and leagues in Manchester. So there's a lot going on.
It does sound like a lot, yeah, definitely. So going back to the beginning, you said you're a trustee with the Miss Kick Foundation.
Yeah.
Could you give a bit of an insight as to what the Miss Kick Foundation is? What can it offer?
Yeah, the Miss Kick Foundation's a charity element of the brand Miss Kick. We, as a county FA, sort of worked with Miss Kick when it first started around sort of 3 years ago. Met Grace in an office in Manchester. They'd only just started. I was really sort of excited around the brand, the way in which they were using football to sort of empower women, creating clothing to sort of, so girls didn't have to just wear the boys' clothes and stuff like that, and creating a community for female football. And then obviously the Miss Kick Foundation came about, which is the charity element of the brand, with a mission to sort of empower females in football to compete, play, and love the game without any limits. So taking down those barriers that girls sort of face. And they're looking to do it in sort of 3 ways. So they're on about connecting people together, changing, and collaborating. It's an amazing charity. Not many of these sort of exist specifically for female football. I'm proud to be part of it. I'm excited to see how it grows over the next couple of years. It's new at the minute. We've had some exciting partnerships, but excited to see where it goes.
Well, including one with us as well. So
yeah,
it's all good from there. So you've been a fan of women's football throughout your life. Could you talk about what growth have you seen within women's football over the years?
Yeah, the growth's been amazing. If I could look back to when I was younger playing football and to see the way in which the women's game is now, I would have believed it. I don't think it's seen as a male sport anymore. When I was playing it when I was younger, and I'd say, "Oh, I play football," the first comment I would get back is, "Isn't that a male sport?" So I thought the stigma around sort of it being a male-dominated sport, I think, is changing, which is amazing. I think the growth of the women's team in major clubs, sort of Manchester City, Manchester United, as well as the coverage on mainstream sports channels, has helped with the popularity of it. So you're now seeing it on BT Sport, BBC, Sky Sports News talking about it, which is amazing. So people watching the mainstream sports channel are hearing about women's football, the WSL, the Lionesses, which is amazing. I also think there are now so many more opportunities to get involved at a local level, which weren't around when I was younger. When I wanted to play football, my dad had to set up a team because there wasn't girls' teams. Whereas now we're inundated with clubs wanting to start girls' football, which is amazing. I think there's still a long way to go, but it is amazing to see the way in which the popularity of it has increased, and the game has developed over the past 10 years to where it is now.
Definitely. So just to wrap up the podcast here, what would your advice be to young women who are thinking about building their career in football?
I'd say do it. It's amazing. There's so many opportunities out there. Quite a lot that not many people know about. Like I said, when I was at university looking for a career, I didn't know about sort of the sport development aspect of sport in general, not just football. There's these roles in sort of rugby, netball, all the other sports as well. And we need more female role models in these roles within football for young people to look up to. So yeah, do it if you're looking to get involved in football for the first time. Like contact local county FAs, like they can help find you a club to play or coach at. They can help with qualifications, so coaching, referee qualifications. But yeah, definitely do it. I did it and I love my job. I don't hate getting up every morning, coming to work. I love it. So yeah, definitely do it. You won't regret it.
Actually, going back to what you said about role models, did you have any within women's football growing up?
Probably not. I think when I was playing football, I don't think when I was younger, I didn't really know about women's football. My role models were more sort of the people around me, sort of PE teachers, telling me about opportunities, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's amazing now that young girls do have role models to look up to. For example, like Karen Barnsley is the chair of our Euros legacy group, and we take her down to sort of wildcat events with young girls aged 7 to 11, and they know who she is. They're amazed by her, and it's just to see that in women's football is amazing, because previously it's just been that in men's football. But yeah, I definitely think role models is something that's really important, to be able to see someone who looks like you, speaks like you, comes from a similar background to you, doing something that you want to do in the future, can sort of inspire the next generation to sort of take part, pursue a career in it.
Right. So yeah, thank you again for agreeing to do the podcast today. It's been great talking with you. Great hearing about your work, interests.
No, thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
No worries.